especially those who have an opportunity to go to church or opportunity to read the Bible or buy one and study it for themselves, right? That no one's going to be able to stand before God and say, I didn't know. God's going to make sure of that in some form or fashion, right? He's going to make sure of that everybody hears his gospel, everybody hears about him. And so it's very interesting. The voice of one crying in the wilderness, prepare the way of the Lord, make his path straight. Now, we tend to think and measure by human standards, well, just like the world, how do you know if you're doing a good job or not? Well, if you own a business, you can see how many sales that you're making. And if you're able to pay not just your bills, but your company is actually making more proceeds than you're losing, then that means your company is growing. Well, in Christianity, it's not the same. There were many prophets that preached faithfully, but the people didn't listen. One of them would be Noah, right? Building an ark for 100 or 120 years, and then the people still didn't get saved except his own family, which was 8 of them, right? Was he unfaithful? No, he was very faithful, right? But to do that for 100 years or so, that's a lot of time. And the people still didn't believe his message, right? We know of many other prophets. We know Elijah had done a few things, but not the people didn't believe him for the longest time. We know Jeremiah preached for 40 plus years and no convert, not one person was saved except Baruch, who was his scribe, who wrote down his writing, his sermons. I've done this for some time and I go, man, I'm like the voice of one crying in the wilderness. I'm not Elijah. I'm not John the Baptist, right? But I'm like a type of that, right? Pastors are like a type of, it should be, like a type of John or Elijah that calls people out of the world to Christ. Because the world is perishing and we're all going to die and we're all going to have to answer to God. But that's not so what's happening? Like, people still don't want to listen. And sure enough, we see their destruction. As a preacher of God's word, I've seen people who didn't want to listen be destroyed by the things that they were warned about, particularly their sin. And so there's the same plea that we see in Isaiah 40, that God is crying out to them, right? Who's in the world, his people or people in general, as he did in Isaiah, as he's doing in John the Baptist, as he's still doing presently today, right? Calling people to himself.